I watched the TNA on Pop debut. I did not watch the pay-per-view. I know you wanted me to watch the women's match, but it was unavailable.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Dave didn't like it either. But I think that we should go in order, so we'll start with the television show, and then you could take us through the Friday pay-per-view event. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, let's go. What did you think of the TV show?
I thought it was pretty boring. I thought it was standard fare, pretty much the same thing that we've seen on TNA every single week leading up to now. The main event really bothered me because, they've had this angle for an entire summer or a few months or whatever it's been. It seems like, it's been going on since the summer. And then the match itself was like a 10-minute match.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to Dave last night, and I had not seen the show yet. I watched it today. And I brought up the fact that when they moved from Spike to Destination America, I watched the first show on Destination America. And when it was over, it was like, you know what? I'm pretty much done with this company right now. Because it was the building was dark, and it was such a nothing show. I could not even believe that that's how they kicked everything off. And Dave said, well, they went to Europe, and it was good after that. And as a viewer, to me, it's like, that's too late. I gave their first show a chance. Nothing had changed. If anything changed, it was for the worse. So then I watched this show, and it was exactly like a year ago. It's just like you said. It was a boring show. And really, on top of that, let's look at some of the stuff they did on the show. Beer Money got put back together. Awesome Kong and Gail Kim are having a feud. The Beautiful People are still a thing. It's like, I understand that the TNA...
Bram has re-signed.
Bram has re-signed for the 9th time. I understand that, like, your TNA hardcores that are still watching the show like these acts, and they remind them of the glory days, but it's 2016. We got to move onwards and upwards.
Okay. During Kurt Angle's Go Away promo, not Go Away, but that's kind of what I was hoping they would do with this segment while it was going on. His farewell promo, his farewell tour, where he's setting it up. He says, I've wrestled some of the best guys in the business. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker. And then at the end, he's like, Bobby Lashley, Eric Young, Bobby Roode, too.
5 guys before we got to a non-WWE guy.
No kidding.
And I'm counting Hogan as a TNA guy because he was there.
It's unbelievable. And I thought to myself, like, why even do that? You had guys you could have named. He could have named just Eric Young, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode. These guys have been around forever. He named AJ Styles. He's just setting these guys. Maybe he's under the payroll.
No, he's just Kurt Angle. Let's start at the beginning. I did watch the Ring of Honor show last night, and so I can confirm that I believe at this point Ring of Honor's production is better than TNA's. It was certainly a better lit building on ROH than it was here. At least I got to see an HD on the internet. I don't know how you saw it. Was it HD or standard?
I have it on Pop TV, and I believe it's HD.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah.
You can't tell just by looking at it?
I didn't despise the show. Well, I can't tell because honestly, based on the production, I couldn't tell if they were in Pennsylvania or if they were in Palestine or what Bethlehem they were at.
Yes, I didn't mind the show either. It was just, you know what? I got it right here behind me. Something that somebody sent me for the Christmas show. It's a little frame thing that just says, it was a show. How was this? It was a show.
Yeah.
Dixie Open.
Yeah, Dixie comes out, says they chose Pop TV. Yeah, I'm sure you did. I don't know what the other choices were, but they did choose it. And then EC3 came out and cut a promo about why he was going to be the champion once again. He said he wanted to air some grievances, which is something that harkens back to the days of Festivus. Brian, you won't get that reference, but everybody else on the planet will.
It's a holiday for the rest of us.
That's right. And it contains feats of strength. And you must wrestle George's dad before you can leave. I wish that they would have actually had a match with George's dad on the show. Probably would have been pretty entertaining. But Matt Hardy comes out. EC3 is out. I believe it breaks down into a brawl. Hardy hits a dive off the top rope, takes everybody out. And they cut to commercial.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah. It's like during practice today, we're running the show, and right before we were about to start our little 30-minute sparring or mock sparring session at the end, the coach is talking, and I can already tell, like, myself and Vinny and some of the people who've been around for a long time are moving off the mat because we can tell a commercial break is coming up in practice.
That's right.
It's like when I'm watching Raw or TNA.
Hey, speaking of Raw, I have a request. It sounds like a nitpick. It probably is. If you are not in WWE, never use the phrase each and every one of you. It is such a WWE cliche. And when she comes out here and she's being friendly Stephanie McMahon and she does the promo saying, "We're here for each and every one of you." It's like, I can watch this on Raw.
Yeah. Not only that, but I mean, realistically, they better be there for each and every one of them because it could be the last remaining fans. You never know. So then we have a match with EC3 versus Lashley. Let me just say this. I really like EC3. I think
he's very good.
Yeah, I think WWE really missed the boat with this guy. He looks good. He's, decent in the ring. He looks the part. He's good on promos. I really, really enjoy watching him wrestle.
I don't know why, but I have talked to wrestlers who cannot stand the guy. Not even like, how can I say this? It's not like they don't like him as a person, but whenever they hear someone say WWE really dropped the ball on him, they will say, no, they didn't. And I don't know why, because like I said, I like the guy. I think he's very good. I think he's very talented, but I have heard people that don't share that.
Well, I'm amazed by that because I really think if you you could put him in the WWE and he's going to be better than 50% of the guys, I would imagine. Just based on his presence in there. But, he has Tyrus backing him up here. This match was, much like the show, that was just a show. This was kind of just a match. Ended with a little bit of Tyrus interference where, it distracts Lashley. EC3 rolls him up for the 3 count and moves on to the finals.
I know that like EC3 and Lashley and Eric Young and Matt Hardy are 4 of their biggest stars, but like you said, this has been going on since Bound for Glory in October. We've had months and months of tournament matches, and these were the semifinals and the finals, and they were just average to below average matches. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, they were flat. Everything was flat. And actually going into this match, the crowd was into EC3 and Matt Hardy. In the opening segment, there was a dueling chants of "You can't wrestle, yes he can." There was chants of "Hardy, Hardy, Hardy," and then the matches start and there's just not much to them. There was a good spot in the EY and Matt Hardy match that got the crowd into it, but for the most part, I thought that the crowd was dead.
Yeah, but just like looking backwards, if you're going to book backwards and you're thinking, okay,
oh, yeah,
what are our final matches? All right,
yeah.
Matt Hardy, I like Matt Hardy, and the people like him, but you're not going to have a 5-star match or anything even close to a 3-star match probably with EC3 and Matt Hardy.
Well, Matt Hardy is out of shape.
You're not getting it with Matt and Eric Young. You're not getting a good one with EC3 and Lashley. I mean, is storyline, it made sense, but man, I just think with the tournament that goes months and months and months, you'd think you'd have a blow-away semis and a blow-away final, and we didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, they had the time to put together some, really good matches or, something interesting coming out of the matches, a really big angle, but they didn't do any of that, which, why didn't they can't they just copy Lucha Underground? Can't they just, use some of the same ideas? And they're WWE light, and that's not what they need to be.
Angle promo, I do got to say, I shouldn't even call it a promo. It was like a public speaking engagement, and he did a really, really good job. You can see, like, when he's done with wrestling, he'd be like a great motivational speaker. He's a former Olympian. He's a good public speaker. I thought Angle was awesome in this interview segment.
Yeah, I've got to imagine that, he would fit right in with what Bellator's doing. I know they used him for the Bellator, autograph signing show that they had, but I really think that they could, do something with him as far as being an ambassador just for the sport of mixed martial arts, even if he never competes. He obviously has the credentials coming from a wrestling background, and he has the notoriety, so I think that, he actually should be used in that role. Kind of like a commissioner.
Yes, he would be a great commissioner.
Great. Yes.
He's doing his retirement tour, or whatever you want to call it. He's going to be facing Drew Galloway on next week's show. And they had Jesse Goddard and Eli Drake come out. What do you think of these two guys?
I actually like Eli Drake. Not really big on Jesse Goddard's, but despite the fact Eli Drake kind of looks like a more jacked up version of Ken Anderson, I do actually think he has some potential.
I like Jesse. And I thought that Eli Drake did a good promo, but when it was over, neither of them felt like big time national main eventers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jesse Goddard's entertaining guys on a B-level show.
Jesse Goddard's is like the Tino Sabatelli of TNA. Those kind of guys just blend together to me. Go ahead.
You're from around that area.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like Jesse Goddard. He was actually funny. He came out and he said, I was on Survivor. I'm a veteran of Pop TV. Kurt, not you. He's got his body, I guess. Flexes a lot.
Mr. Pectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
All right. So then we also had Matt Hardy versus Eric Young. I thought the big cool spot in this match obviously was Eric Young, who I think might have the best pile driver in wrestling right now.
No one else is allowed to do it.
Well, Bubba Ray was doing it for a while. He had a really good one. But Eric Young hits a pile driver on the outside on the exposed floor, got the crowd into it, or at least got them to chant "Holy shit!" And then Jeff Hardy comes out to tease his involvement like he does every single match of Matt's now. But Matt hits the twist of fate out of nowhere for the win. And final sets up Matt Hardy versus EC3 as if there was anything else.
So we did 3 months of tournament matches to get right back where we were at the end of Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was their destination, America.
That's right. Bobby Roode and Bram.
Yeah, Bram's another guy. I don't know what he's trying to do to himself. Is he trying to kill himself?
I think so.
Is that what's going on? Yeah. Maybe he has some resentment from a past marriage. I'm not sure what his problem is, but they have a match. Bobby Roode had laid down, I believe, an open challenge to someone from any promotion, and he was serious. He meant any promotion. He also meant that him and James Storm would fight somebody from any promotion on the Friday pay-per-view. Instead, it was guys from this promotion under contract who showed up. Lo and behold.
All I know is if you, and in fact, everybody can do this because the show's available online. Go to the Pop TV website or whatever and go to the end of this match where Eric Young and Bram team up to attack Bobby Roode, and then James Storm comes out to make the save. Watch Bram's kicks when he is stomping on Bobby Roode. You've never seen anything like this in the worst women's battle royal you've ever seen. I mean, I could not even believe it. He was on national television on the debut, and these were the worst stomps ever.
I will challenge you when we get to that.
No.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm telling you, you got to go back and watch it. You'll die.
Okay. I may die anyways from
you
the
will vomit
ailment.
again if you see these stomps. I'm not even kidding.
I believe you. What didn't make me vomit was this next match, just based on purely looks alone.
I got to talk about Beer Money's return.
Do we?
Yeah, James Storm is back.
I'm not a big drinker.
Oh yeah. James Storm.
What do you say that? I'm not.
I just saw a picture of you yesterday with your boy, and between your legs is a beer bottle.
That, you know what?
Yes.
Do you want to get... That wasn't me, I don't think.
Really? I'm pretty sure it was you, buddy.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, so James Storm's explanation for why he left NXT? Do you recall?
You're talking about during this show?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He said, my granny came up to me and she says, who's this man on my television? This ain't you, James.
No. He wasn't talking about NXT. He was talking about his past in the TNA with that crew that he had. That's what he meant.
Granny came up to him and she didn't like what she saw. And so this compelled him to leave NXT and come back to Impact.
To right the ship. I see. Yes. He couldn't leave on that sour note.
No. He had to come back.
Yeah. Well,
and he was mad that the Pope had given him the biggest disappointment award in the year-end awards for TNA. He could not stand for that. He had to leave NXT.
Yes, because actually, I think any award the Pope would give out would be less prestigious than the filthy awards.
That's undoubtedly true. All right, your women's match.
Well, this match sucked, but the girls are mostly hot. It was the Dollhouse versus the Beautiful People. Although the Beautiful People now just consists of two girls, Madison Rain and Velvet Sky, because Angelina Love is pregnant.
And they still brought her to the show and had her do a promo with her belly hanging out. Can you believe that?
Yeah, well, Bull Dempsey's doing it on NXT, so maybe they're just copying that.
It's got to be leading to an angle where we find out that Davey Richards is the dad. It's got to be.
I'd hope so.
Otherwise, why would you put her on television pregnant? Is a heel.
I don't know. Wasn't Kong on WWE television pregnant?
Well, she wasn't showing.
Maybe they're just copying it.
Oh God.
Oh shoot. Oh really? Okay. Anyways, speaking of Kong, she came out in this match after the match was over and attacked the Beautiful People and Gail Kim, who was subbing in for Angelina Love. Gail Kim had rolled up Jade for the win. And then Awesome Kong came out. I'm sorry. I can't talk. Awesome Kong came out and helped the Dollhouse beat up the Beautiful People. I didn't really care.
I, again, will note that it is 2016. We have the Beautiful People. We have Kong versus Gail Kim. Nothing has changed. I mean, just think about these. You're not watching these old 1986 NWA shows, but if you watch those shows and then you fast forward 10 years to Nitro, it's like you may as well be in an alternate universe. Whereas in TNA, if you go back to 2006, it's the same damn show, except there's less fans and smaller buildings and fewer stars. Other than that, it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch half the shows from 1996, they all look like they're different worlds. ECW doesn't even look like it's on the same planet as WCW, and that doesn't look anything remotely like WWE.
And what does that tell you, Tom, as we go into a new 2016 here? You got to do something different to evolve.
It sucks that they just don't have the outlets for Lucha Underground or Ring of Honor like WWE has.
I should note, by the way, that Rebel
looked hot.
You know the story of Rebel? She was like a friend of Christy Hemmy's. They used to do like dancing or something. And she comes into TNA. This was not that long ago. What, a year ago maybe? Mm-hmm. But she was just in, and then they taught her how to be a wrestler.
Her first match in, right? She gets hurt.
She got hurt, but now here we are. How many matches do you think she's had? 30? Less?
Probably
20?
less, based if she's just working TNA schedule.
All right, maybe 15. She may be better right now than Velvet Sky. I'm not even kidding.
Brian, you've got to watch this Women's Battle Royal.
I am not going to do it. I can't.
Please. It's honestly, it's got to be, it's going to hold up. It's going to be the worst match this year.
The pay-per-view is over, dude.
Okay. All right.
We'll get to it.
Speaking of females, we had the debut of a new female in TNA Next, and that was the beautiful Maria Kanellis as she came out to introduce the man, the Miracle. Who's the Miracle? Who's it going to be? It was very, very, very well kept secret. I thought I couldn't tell. I had no clue. And then out came Mike Bennett.
So what's the gimmick?
I don't know. I watched the pay-per-view and I'm even more baffled, to be honest. I thought I don't know. I thought he was like maybe a South Florida retiree, judging by his outfit. He was hanging out at the local,
he stole his outfit
local
from
community center.
Armando Estrada.
Yeah, he did. He did call himself the pro wrestling Jesus, maybe. He said, which does, lend some credibility considering they are in Bethlehem. So he was, trying to draw from the crowd there, the hometown crowd, by mentioning that.
God damn, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Nobody picked up on that, I don't think.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know what this gimmick is, but I was hoping it would be more of like a Magic Mike gimmick. I think that would actually be better, like some sort of low rent stripper gimmick, because the Miracle, I don't get what it is. And especially during the pay-per-view, he came out in all black tights and just walked down the ring holding Maria's hand after her initial promo. And she's wearing a bright gold dress that's sparkling. She's breathtaking. And I think Mike Bennett, if he had, different gear on and a different presentation, would come off like a big star in TNA. But it's just, I don't know. They flubbed it already.
I don't know, dude. I have nothing to add.
He said he was a superhero, a bad mofo, your pro wrestling Jesus. I thought the promo was good. It was fine. I think he probably should have came out and squashed somebody. And he didn't even do that on the pay-per-view. So I don't know what they're doing with him, but I think he could be handled better.
And finally.
Yes, Matt Hardy versus EC3. After months and months of build-up, we get a 9-minute television match for the title.
Let me take everybody through this match, at least the last 5 minutes. Matt hits a side effect. Matt hits a twist of fate. EC3 kicks out. EC3 hits a 1%er. Matt Hardy kicks out. Matt Hardy hits a twist of fate. EC3 kicks out. Over and over and over again. And then finally the big finish, after they've hit the move 8 times and kicked out of it every time, Matt goes up to the middle rope. He's going to hit a middle rope twist of fate. EC3 turns it into a middle rope 1%er and wins. That was it.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything in that match?
Nope. Well, Tyrus at the beginning, they go, I think they challenged Jeff and Tyrus to go to the back. And Tyrus just looks at EC3, shrugs his shoulders, and walks out. He was like, all right, screw this. I'm out of here.
I'm paid one way or the other.
Yeah. So then I thought for sure we'd get some sort of interference. I was half expecting Jeff to turn on Matt at some point, but we got a clean finish, which actually makes sense if you look at the spoilers coming up after these shows. But got a clean finish here with EC3 hitting the 1%er off the top rope for the win. And he is the new two-time TNA World Champion. Never been pinned, never been submitted. This guy is awesome. EC3, way to go.
All right. If you're a fan of TNA, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about to do spoilers, so you may want to turn off the show. For the rest of you, the majority of you that don't care, here we go. The spoiler that Tom is talking about here is that there is a double turn. Matt Hardy wins a title from EC3, and not only does he win the title, but he turns heel, and EC3 turns babyface. Right?
Correct.
How many times have we seen this in TNA, where there's like a long chase, and then the heel wins, which nobody expects, and then, like, on the very next show, the other guy wins a title, and they do a double turn? It seems like it's happened several times.
I didn't really pay that much attention to TNA to be able to tell you for a long period of time.
Huh.
So, I did used to attend a lot of the shows early on when I was at the Impact Zone, since I lived in Orlando, but I didn't pay attention for about 6 or 7 years until the past 2 or 3 years. So I missed all the good stuff, I think.
The one thing I did like is knowing all of that. At the end of the show, Matt Hardy's been beaten clean, and Rebby Sky, his wife, is there with young Matzel, and they are going to the back.
But no Gilbert. Couldn't make the trip.
No, Gilbert couldn't make it. There's a very sad Matt Hardy, and they go up the ramp, and they get to the top of the ramp, and Rebby Sky leans over, and she viciously, violently whispers something in his ear, which we can't hear, and then you see Matt Hardy glare and stare down at the ring, and then he walks away, and then Rebby Sky turns and she glares at the ring, looking like a chick you don't want to mess with, and away she goes. That I thought was great. Apparently I'm the only one.
Yeah.
I thought she played her role well.
It was all right.
As a woman scorned.
Yeah, you know who I thought did a really good job last week was Charlotte. With if you watch her in the background after she got beat by Becky Lynch on Raw, her facials and her expression after losing, she's got that down for sure.
All right, let's do this pay-per-view. I know you got so much to say.
I do. TNA one night only. I'm glad it was only one night only that I had to watch it because not a whole lot happened. The main event was, of course, set up on the Pop TV show. It was Eric Young and Bram versus Beer Money, a scintillating main event. But we'll get to that later. I'll start from the top with Tigre Uno defeated Mandrews, DJ Z, and Crazy Steve. Crazy Steve. He's out of control. You better believe it. Mandrews came down to the ring on a skateboard. Okay. But he looked like he was from Skate or Die from Nintendo back in like the early 90s. You remember that game, Brian?
I do not.
Okay. It was just going.
I was busy wrestling.
So was I, but it was against like the Ultimate Warrior dummy and the Macho Man dummy in my parents' basement.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. Anyways, Mandrews hits a shooting star press onto Crazy Steve and I believe Tigre Uno and eliminates Steve. And then also rolls up DJ Z off of a DDT, which led to a pretty good little match between Mandrews and Tigre Uno until Tigre Uno hit the Spanish fly off the top to win. At the end, Josh says, this move will be in TNA highlights for years to come. And I thought to myself, oh yeah? Will it? How many more years will it be in the highlights? And after the end of the match, much like at Bound for Glory a few months back, we have the emergence of Shane Helms, who dwarfs the champion Tigre Uno. And Shane Helms came out, walked around the ring. I swear he kind of looked at the title, pointed at his watch, and walked off. And that was
I could have sworn I saw that exact same thing at the end of Bound for Glory, or the beginning of Bound for Glory.
Yeah, Josh even mentioned that. He said, this looks exactly like what we saw about For Glory.
Why didn't they just Are you sure it wasn't a tape?
I swear. I thought to myself they were replaying it at first. But no, they did the same thing. He came out, and then Josh was even saying, look at the title there was a memo going around inside TNA management months back that said, change the color of the title to green. Change it to green. And now look, Shane Helms sees it. So I guess that's a big reason. Shane Helms likes green so fucking much that he wants to get this X Division title. So
wow.
I hope he comes back and has a great match because I think all these guys, Tigre Uno is like very, very underutilized, I would say. All these matches that they have, these multi-man X matches, are just kind of spot fests with these guys, and they could be doing more with them. They could have split up that match and had two separate matches that were better than some of the other stuff in this show, including the next match, which was The Thug, Aiden O'Shea versus Rockstar Spud. And at the beginning, O'Shea, who has no accent, he is from Chicago, but he's Irish, which doesn't fit the stereotype as much as some other places. I don't understand his gimmick. I thought he was from Ireland. The Thug, he's not really what I think of when I think of The Thug. And he came out here, cut pretty bad promo on Rockstar Spud. He said, save yourself the embarrassment and take a walk. And I thought to myself, save yourself the embarrassment of an ass kicking or just being out here in the first place, sporting a gigantic red bow tie. So match was crap. O'Shea beat him up. Not much to it. The old storyline of a big guy beating up a small guy until Spud made his comeback, hit the underdog, and gets the win. Crowd is at least into Spud. I like Spud as a character, but I just didn't buy this match.
Didn't do it for you.
No, not at all. Then we had a Angle Galloway Wolves promo that was interrupted by Eli Drake and whoever his tag team partner is, Jesse Goddard. And then an EC3 promo where he was drinking a bottle of $5 wine at the end and toasted us. This was right after his victory on Tuesday, I guess.
Did they actually say that it was $5 wine, or are we supposed to just know that because we're winos?
I can tell by seeing the bottle.
Okay, so it was supposed to be an expensive bottle of wine, but you know a $5 bottle of wine when you see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. We also then had the in-ring debut of The Miracle, with Maria coming out in, like I said, all gold and asking...
All gold everything, I'm sure.
She looked pretty damn good. She's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. She said, I believe... Do you believe in the miracle? And out comes Mike Bennett with black tights on, holding Maria's hand. What an entrance.
It's a nice little catchphrase for a guy called The Miracle, but what the fuck is the gimmick?
Well, I believe, based on his finishing move, which is known as Divine Intervention, that he is basically just supposed to be sent from heaven.
So he's
to
God.
Save professional wrestling.
He's Jesus.
Well, yes, he said he was
Mary.
Jesus. He said he was Jesus. But at the end, okay, so first of all, they have a back and forth match. Bennett comes out and he originally kind of beats up Robbie E, tosses him into the guardrail on the outside he picked him up into a power bomb, whips him into the guardrail, pretty much just beat his ass, and then throws him in the ring, and then they have a match. At one point, Bennett hits the ripcord punch. So much like the Rainmaker, he had a hold of the guy's arm, spun him out, and then threw the most devastating strike in professional wrestling, which is technically illegal, by the way. A punch, then picks him up onto his shoulders into a fireman's carry, dumps him into a sit-down slam in front for the win. And they say that this move is known as Divine Intervention. He cuts a promo.
His goddamn finish is not even a crucifix or something?
No, it's not. Brian, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but the whole thing about Jesus didn't tap.
Yes.
That's
verbal submission.
That's bullshit.
I've talked about that for years.
Verbal submission. Oh, we haven't talked about it, but we share the same. Same thing. Okay. So Bennett comes in, cuts a promo, said he is building a kingdom of miracles, and puts up the kingdom hand signal. He's building a kingdom of miracles that says, yes, we do.
Would it have been that hard for EC3 in the earlier segment to have said, I could have sworn this was a fucking water bottle, but it's wine now. And I don't know how, but goddamn it, I'm going to drink it. Is this stuff that hard?
Mike Bennett was in here, and I don't know what happened. After this promo, I thought to myself that it's probably we're going to get a Bennett Kanellis ticket for 2016 after they said, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Could be worse.
If that's a catchphrase, holy shit. Oh, it could be worse because the next match was worse, and that was the women's #1 contender battle royal. It's my favorite battle royal of the year. I know I had a favorite one last week, but it's already been overtaken. So it begins with the Dollhouse. Jade came out first to take on Madison Rayne, and then she was joined by Rebel, who has the best tights in TNA, I'll say. They're just plain white tights, but her ass, at least half of her ass, is hanging out the bottom at all times. Now, Brian, when I tell you this was the worst match, you've got to believe me. I think it might be worse than the Vianos match. Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh,
it's really bad. Okay, so the Dollhouse teams up on Madison Rayne 2-on-1, and they back away from her and decide to take turns playing Red Rover and run at her very slowly just to get kicked down. This match is really bad. Chelsea from Tough Enough is the next girl in, and her and Rebel immediately miss a spot where Chelsea was supposed to duck a clothesline, hook the arm, spin her back around, and then go for a strike of some sort. But Rebel completely misses, and they had to go turn around and run back into the spot. But Chelsea did a good job here, I thought. She fixed the spot, and actually just by getting into the match, she by de facto became the best person in the match. On commentary, the Pope says He doesn't know much about Chelsea, but he knows Lance Storm trained her, and that's good enough. To which Josh replies, it's a good thing that the Pope is very lucky that Josh has his finger on the pulse of everything so he can correct him. Josh knows everything.
It's on the pulse of everything.
He has his finger on the pulse of everything, yes. So, he knows everything. Way to go.
Tell me that.
Yeah. Marty Bell and Jade.
Finger on the pulse of commentary, I can tell you that much. How about that?
Good one. Marty Bell and Jade miss Madison Rayne off of an Irish whip. They have an Irish whip spot where they have Madison Rayne in the corner again after they had just taken turns of running at her in a Red Rover spot. They Irish whip each other, and I'm telling you, Marty Bell throws, I think it's the worst forearm. It has to be at least 6 inches, maybe 9 inches away from Madison Rayne's head. Doesn't even come close to hitting her, which they sell. Jade throws a big boot that completely misses by, about the same distance, probably by a foot. It was just terrible. And then we have Deanna Purrazzo come out. She throws a drop kick that wouldn't hit El Torito in the head. And I'm just shaking my head this entire match. I have written down here, oh my God. There was a spot where I believe it was Chelsea throws Rebel into the ropes, and Rebel tries to jump up onto the second rope so she can springboard back, or at least turn around so she can sit on the top turnbuckle. But instead, she never turns around. She just jumps and gets hung up in the ropes for about, 10 seconds. Can't get herself turned around the right way until she just finally gets pushed over the top. Amazing Kong comes out, eliminates everybody. Crowd is still cheering for her. She gets rid of Purrazzo and Chelsea. Velvet Sky runs out, lasts about maybe a minute in the match before she gets kicked out. Jade and I believe it must have been, who's the other girl in the dollhouse? Rebel. So Velvet Sky, when she first runs in, hits the ring, and they go to the spot where Velvet Sky has a headlock, and she does a head scissors to the other girl. So she has a headlock on Jade, a head scissors on Rebel, and they're supposed to, both roll over. Well, I don't know what the hell they did here, but it ended with Velvet Sky being thrown just to the right, and then the other girl's doing a standing front flip bump. So, all
right, where can I see this goddamn match? It's not airing on pay-per-view anymore.
TNA one night only.
All right, I need a digital download from TNA or
something. So it ends with...
Don't vomit here on the air.
It ends with Jade, Madison, and Kong as the last three. Whatever. Okay. Kong, somehow she picks up Jade into a fireman's carry, and Madison Rayne hits her in the stomach, to which Kong falls backwards. She takes about, 15 steps backwards, gently places Jade on the ropes or on the outside of the ring. Madison Rayne eliminates her with a spear. They go back and forth. Kong eventually hits a spinning back fist, implant buster, gets the win. This match is over. Thank God.
Man.
You got to see it.
Man, you've convinced me. This is one for the ages.
It's bad. I mean, between all the missed strikes and blown spots, this one had me laughing. And this is one of the reasons why I watch pro wrestling. I watch it for great stuff, but I watch it for stuff like this too. Next match, we have Trevor Lee versus Pepper Parks. So we have a poor man's Daniel Bryan in Trevor Lee versus a bootleg Christopher Daniels in Pepper Parks.
You know what's funny is I called him a poor man's Daniel Bryan as well, and man, was I shouted down. What are you talking about, Bryan? He's great. How do you call him a poor man's Daniel Bryan? I didn't say he wasn't great. I said he reminded me physically of a poor man's Daniel Bryan. And I don't think I was unfair in saying so.
No joke, on commentary, Josh starts talking about, Trevor Lee isn't one of these guys that really cares about how he looks or being well groomed. He kind of looks like a lumberjack. Some people think he looks like a lumberjack, and he looks like he should be from Seattle.
How about that?
No shit. They said that on commentary.
Oh,
they said he's one of these guys. We have people in the back who could design him, great gear, really elaborate stuff, but he just wants to be a wrestler.
How about that?
That's all he's here for. Yeah. Holy shit. Is that gimmick infringement or what? So eventually he wins with a flying stomp and a fisherman's buster where he rolls through into the three.
You know what? There's already a Daniel Bryan. I realize he's not working right now, but there's already one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, this kind of outlines the problem with TNA. Is they're just trying to be like WWE.
Force this guy to wear some different gear and not look like Daniel Bryan.
It's your company.
Yeah, if you hired him.
If you wanted to be important as Daniel Bryan, then that's what you're going to get. You don't accept a cheap imitation of anybody else. Anyways, we have this Grado versus Abyss match, which was a Monsters Ball match, which happened because the Pope apparently has been running down Grado on commentary. So Grado felt the need to prove himself by getting chokeslammed into thumbtacks, being knocked off the top rope into tables. He did get some offense on Abyss. It was a pretty cool spot where he hit a big boot, which sent Abyss on top of a barbed wire table. And then Grado came off the top with a splash onto Abyss as he was sandwiched in between that one and another board. So eventually Abyss wins with the choke slam onto thumbtacks. Both guys are bleeding. I don't know why they went out there and had this match for no reason at all. They got to save this stuff for
pay-per-view time, baby. Pay-per-view time.
But you can't even buy a replay if this match was that great to watch it, right?
Damn it. Well, I don't know. Honest to God, I haven't even checked.
Okay. And let's get through the show anyways. Kurt Angle and Drew Galloway versus the Wolves versus Jesse Goddard and Eli Drake. There was a spot at the beginning where Angle does a double German suplex to both the Wolves. But first he had Davey Richards by the waist, and Eddie Edwards is walking around in the ring, and for some reason he has his back turned to both these guys, and Davey Richards grabs him by the waist. So I understand, I guess the thought process was, I'm going to hold on to his waist and Kurt won't be able to suplex me, but he gets suplexed anyways, but that's a really dumb move. Really dumb spot. I understand the one where you're trying to suplex the guy and then Kurt would suplex both of you, but to grab your own partner by the waist, just too contrived for me.
Or they always do the one where one guy picks a guy up and he throws him over the top rope onto the other guys. And it's like, what if the guy's moved? You know what I mean? Yeah. What a stupid move. If we team Tom, do not do that with me.
Yeah. Well, listen, the all-time great one is where Enzo had just had his ass kicked for the entire match, is dead on the apron, and Cass tags him back in for the rocket launcher to throw his dead body into the ring, and they get beat. That was my all-time favorite. I think it's only happened once on one of the takeovers, but I could watch that every match. There was also a cool spot here where Drew Galloway was in the Tree of Woe, sitting up like he's expecting Alberto Del Rio to jump off the top, and then Eddie Edwards came after him, and lo and behold, Galloway countered him and threw him, Brian. So the whole, problem you have with guys holding onto the rope and sitting up while Alberto Del Rio is setting up his finish could be avoided. All it's going to take is one guy to thwart the plan, and then we have a whole new sequence of moves that could be done there.
That's crazy.
Yep. Anyways, there's a big chop spot. Galloway and Edwards square off with chops. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, Edwards, you're getting the shit end of the stick because Drew Galloway is twice his size. Drew Galloway ends up hitting a Claymore kick. Everybody's down in the ring. The Wolves get back into the ring. They go through a double dive spot onto the heels on the outside. Galloway dives onto everybody. Angle with an angle slam, but only gets a 2 count on Eli Drake. Angle and Davey Richards lock in ankle locks on Galloway and Eddie Edwards respectively, but Eli Drake breaks it up with a belt shot for a 2 count. Eventually, Wolves hit Chasing the Dragon, and then Richards locks in an ankle lock as Kurt Angle just kind of looks on leisurely from the apron, and Eli Drake taps out, so the Wolves retain the tag team titles.
I know that Davey Richards was so happy about the opportunity to do the double ankle lock spot with Kurt Angle.
It was awesome. That was one of the
dream come true for him.
Yeah, this match was this match was fun to watch. A lot of cool spots. I thought the chop spots were good. There's some impressive moves by guys all around. Galloway is awesome, I think. He, to me, like when I see him in these independent shows or, basically just anywhere except in the WWE, he reminds me, like, I'm thinking he should have been the next Undertaker. For some reason, that's what I see when I look at this guy.
That's not what I see, but I think he's pretty good.
What do you see, Brian?
I think he's good, but I don't know about the next Undertaker.
I don't know. There's something about him that maybe it's just the fact that he's way bigger than all these midgets.
That could be.
I don't know. Yeah, but even live,
Politically incorrect term, Tom.
Sorry, these minis, the TNA minis in here. So I don't know. I'd like to see some more of him. Obviously, we're going to see more of him in TNA, but I'd like to see him on a bigger stage. Again, Lashley beat Tyrus.
Oh my God! How long is this goddamn show?
Yep, slammed his head in the turnbuckle a bunch till Tyrus bled, hits a spear, wins, and then the main event: Eric Young and Bram versus Beer Money. This was just a match. It wasn't even a main event. This was just a match. James Storm had a nice top rope Hurricane Rana, but it only got a 2 after a splash from Bobby Roode. Big double down spot, or I guess it would be 4-man double down. What is that? What is that considered? Four down?
A quadruple down.
Quadruple down. With everybody with a Uranage from Bram. Storm hit a code breaker and a lung blower. Eric Young with an elbow off the top. Roode with a spine buster. A great slingshot DDT. So Roode went for a pendulum, the slingshot from the ground, and James Storm caught him in a DDT. Probably the best execution of this move I've seen maybe ever. And then Beer Money hit the win, or hit the DWI, got the win, ended the show. Very anticlimactic.
Whole show sounds very anticlimactic.
Yep. I'm done with that show.
You're done?
Well, I'm done with it. I'm never going to watch that show again except for that Battle Royal.
We got to watch the Pop TV show every week, Tom. It's our responsibility until we get totally sick of it.
That one. I'm just not watching this pay-per-view again. It was one night only, and it's going to stay that way.
Alrighty, well. Alrighty. Let's talk about this Impact show. What a program.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad. No. Except I got to say, well, we'll get to it.
It wasn't as I guess offensive, if I could use that word again. It wasn't as offensive as The Revenant. So, that was good. Not as intense, for sure. So, all right. The show opens up with Kurt Angle being followed by all-access cameras on his farewell tour. These cameras show him taking pictures with approximately 4 guys in a hotel corridor. So, good to see that Kurt Angle is being followed by a multitude of fans on his farewell tour here.
It was late at night.
On his way to the building?
Well, he gets there a day early sometimes. He's a real professional. Couldn't they at least have put on the screen like 5 a.m. or something? 4:30 a.m.?
I don't know where he was. But he was definitely in some sort of hotel, which then begs the question, what the hell were these guys doing hanging out in the hotel, just hoping to find Kurt Angle?
Dude, that happens all the time with fans.
Actually, yeah, that's true. They do it at the UFC, too. Okay, so then it cuts to EC3, who's standing in front of a mirror wearing a dapper little suit, staring at himself. Tyrus comes up, tells him it's time. EC3 grabs a belt and walks off while the camera stays on Tyrus. A little bit of foreshadowing there.
Oh, man. Poor EC3 having a feud with Tyrus down the road.
Yeah, you can already tell the influence of Billy Corgan here, as he's borrowed a lot from Hollywood, as that camera angle stayed on Tyrus for just long enough to foreshadow some things. Yes,
let me say one thing about this. This is going to be a spoiler, everybody, so if you don't want a TNA Impact spoiler, just fast forward like 2 minutes here. So, this coming tomorrow, actually, on Impact, they do the Matt Hardy and EC3 match, and Matt Hardy wins the title, and they do a double turn. So EC3 is going babyface. Now, knowing this, when I was watching this show and they were doing the opening segment that we're about to talk about, the Tyrus character I was sympathetic towards, because EC3 was being such a dick to the guy. And he seemed like a nice stand-up guy. He's talking about how, I believed in you the whole time, EC3, and blah, 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 blah. And so I was thinking, okay, well, obviously they're going to split, and then this EC3 is going to be a big, likable, Funkasaurus babyface. Apparently not. So that's weird.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I thought Tyrus did a good job. And actually later on in this segment, I believe, it is in this segment. He does a good job. He's staring at the belt after EC3 gives it to him. Like he's looking at it. He's looking at it like it was made out of chocolate, like the giant Seth Rollins.
He's just stares at it longingly.
Licking his lips.
That dark chocolate or that milk chocolate.
Or maybe it's gold. So Josh, at the beginning of the show, welcomed us to the entertainment capital of Pennsylvania. Fucking Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Listen, I've been to Pennsylvania a bunch. There's no way you can convince me Bethlehem is better than Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or anywhere.
Quite a statement.
Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Whatever. Entertainment capital of Pennsylvania. Great. So EC3 comes out for what we were just talking about, a likely boring 20-minute promo. Claims he's unbreakable and unbendable, which is not good for his health. Thanks Tyrus for being by his side. Meanwhile, Tyrus is sporting a shirt that reads #animal status. Well, all humans are animals, aren't we? Yeah.
He's more of an animal.
Yeah? Is he? Okay. So Jeff Hardy comes out. Looks like he just lost on Nickelodeon's You Can't Do That on Television.
Was it just me, or was his paint like all fucked up?
I didn't know if he was covered in gack or if he was trying to reenact a Swamp Thing in the ring there. He looked awful.
It was just weird because maybe they did a bunch of shows prior and he just was too lazy to fix his makeup, but he comes out and the makeup is running all over his face. And I was like, the show just started, dude. What's happening? Were you in the shower applying your paint? Because that's not where you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, far be it for me to correct where he does his paint, but that was weird. Odd.
Yeah. Very, very terrible. So EC3 says he's done with Matt Hardy, but Jeff corrects him and says it's about him. It's about the charismatic enigma tonight. Hands Tyrus a doctor's note, tells him he should probably give it to EC3 because it requires reading, and that Jeff wants a match tonight. But of course, he's not going to get it. EC3 raps terribly, I might add. We started at the bottom, now we're here. So bad that even Mike Sempervive wouldn't like it. And then we cut to commercial, or maybe it wasn't commercial, but some strange music begins, and EC3 calls out the man himself, Shinron, the master of motion, from the back.
The master of motion. I like how Jeff Hardy's coming out there and he wants a championship match, and EC3 just says no, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
I'll start at the bottom with Shinron.
Yeah, some skinny scrub in a mask comes out, and he just agrees, well, all right, I guess I'll fight this guy. So the match begins. We have EC3 ringside on commentary. This is where EC3 gave Tyrus the belt to hold, and you can see Tyrus looking at it there.
Longingly.
Yeah, Shinron comes out. I don't know. Him and EC3 bantered back and forth on the mic. He did some cool moves I think he saw in an Ito Portal YouTube video before Jeff Hardy catches him with a fall-away powerbomb, twist of fate, 1, 2, 3, match is over.
Not much to say, except there was... he did some cool athletic stuff, I guess, but when he did that deal where he kind of did the 619 like Dean Ambrose does on the apron, and he hit Jeff Hardy with the force of a sneeze, and Jeff Hardy just goes flying... I was like, dude, you should just grab that guy's legs and toss him into the announcer's table or something.
Yeah, who is this guy? Who is this Shinron?
I don't know. I think he's a Chikara guy. Could be wrong.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So next we have Jeremy Borash backstage with the Dollhouse. Marty Bell is there and tells Jeremy Borash if she wants to talk to Awesome Kong, first she has to talk to Marty Bell, which to me sounds like a much better deal than talking to Awesome Kong. But... hey, to each his own. So Kong then interrupts and says, this is her house. So apparently she lives at the Sands Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, if anybody's looking to find her. And that she wants Gail Kim before they are interrupted by the beautiful people who call them the Doghouse for what seems like, 6 months in a row every time they're interviewed. Velvet Sky says, her and Kong have never been friends, and I don't really know why, but tonight, I'm going to kick your ass. So, I guess that's a representation of how catty women are. Then they kind of brawled, and we went to a commercial.
All I know is I don't know what it is. And it's not really all that much better on Raw, but every time the women are in a segment together on Impact, it's just like the worst, phoniest verbiage, and it's completely unbelievable, and it sucks. And this was a great example of that.
I think also during the interview, Kong goes, what'd she say? You fans out there hate me. Okay, right? And then she didn't even give him time to answer.
It may have been edited.
Everybody hates me, right? Okay, good. No, they were in the back. It was live. So, actually, there was a good knockout segment next, and that was before they came back to the match. There was a Knockouts calendar commercial. And this calendar is one that I would definitely be proud to hang up in my bathroom any year.
Wow. Yeah. It was funny. They aired that commercial after the Drew Galloway segment, the interview. There's a Drew Galloway interview, and suffice to say that as I was watching it on my television, I could see what was upcoming, and for some reason, Taryn Terrell was on the screen. I was like, what's going on here? Why is Drew Galloway being followed by Taryn Terrell? It was the calendar. Yeah. She's not even in wrestling anymore. But they're using her.
She's still hot.
To sell their calendars. It's crazy.
Yeah. She's being used like a government mule.
Man.
They're just using her up.
Let's talk about the dollhouse and the beautiful people in a street fight.
God, this was great, right? We had
Dude, this made me... Remember when you told me I had to watch that Battle Royal?
Battle Royal was so much worse than this.
I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna after I watched this.
Did you see the GIF on the board from the Battle Royal?
No, I haven't yet.
Of Jade. I think it's... Fuck, it's so bad. It's so bad. Anyways, this match, they came back. Like you said, it was a street fight. We had Kong sitting on Madison Rayne for like 5 minutes while Jade pulled out the Tommy Dreamer starter kit from under the ring. At one point, Jade went for an acai moonsault after she had laid Madison Rayne down about, I'd say she was like 3 feet away from the ropes. So Jade runs and goes for the lion salt and goes all the way to like the other side of the ring. So Madison Rayne didn't even have to move. Like, she overshot her by 10 feet.
I did see this. I died. Yeah, oh, my God.
Jade running over the rope?
Yeah. Yeah, just like there was no one there. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. I know. Anyways.
This match was bad.
Yeah, Velvet Sky ran in with a chair.
I apologize to Velvet Sky, by the way, for saying that Rebel was already better than she was. That was wrong of me. Rebel is
sure?
very, 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 very green.
You haven't even seen the one with her trying to jump up on the ropes, have you?
No.
Oh, my God. That's even worse. Anyways, Marty and Rebel come in and interfere. Velvet Sky beats him up with some kendo sticks. And then Jade and Kong came back. Jade hits a package pile driver on Madison Rayne for the 1-2-3.
Yeah, this was very bad.
Yeah.
The package pile driver, I mean, her head was 8 feet from the mat. Like, I know that people are excited that they're letting her use it and they don't let Kevin Owens use it, but like, don't use it if it's going to look like this.
Who got excited about that? Jim in Virginia?
Funny you should mention that, but yes.
Yeah. So another thing, this is like the package that you send that you wrap in bubble wrap on the inside so that nothing gets damaged during it. That's the kind of package that this package pile driver is based off of.
And this was very bad.
And to follow it up, the next segment was the promo for Raquel, which is Gabby from Tough Enough, who's coming to get payback. On who?
On what?
I mean, who's she coming to get payback on?
I don't know.
She's never been in TNA. Oh, she's never been in the ring.
It's good.
Whoa. I sound like Joey Lawrence.
Let's talk about the beer money bash.
Hold on.
Oh, there's more.
Well, no. In what I think is the bravest thing I've seen in 2016, when we cut back to the arena, Christy Hemme is engulfed in a sea of men who paid to go to a TNA show.
Yeah.
Holy shit, how brave is she? She's like a reporter who goes over to interview somebody from ISIS, or she's like Sean Penn going to interview El Chapo.
That's right.
His name is.
He may have been in the crowd.
So there's also a guy there who's in like a blue shirt who had to be 10 feet tall. Because Christy Hemme's standing on a box, and this guy was still taller than her. So she is surrounded by men, just an absolute sea of men, and she's asking, who's ready for a beer bash? And I swear, Brian, on my life, because of whatever accent she may have, I thought first she said bear, and I thought she was going to ask who's ready for a bareback. And I was like blown away. I could
You
not.
were so excited.
Holy shit. Yeah, believe me, I was not. No amount of money could make me happy watching these mouth breathers with Christy Hemme. So anyways, beer money comes out. Ring is filled with kegs, coolers, and beer because that's always a great idea. And they tell a lot of jokes about drinking, about how they're currently drunk, which is a great thing to do to impress your bosses. Roode admits to, at one point, peeing in James Storm's cowboy hat as
vomiting.
they apologize. Oh, vomiting.
Yeah.
I thought, no. I thought it was peeing because he said he blamed it on the dog.
Nope, it was vomiting. I remember because I was intrigued by this because some of it was like kind of clever and some of it was kind of cute, but like when you are doing one of these talking segments and you're in a tiny building and there's nobody there and virtually nobody is reacting, it's just the worst. Like there's nothing, it's not their fault. There's nothing they can do about it because nobody showed up. I just think that if I don't know what you can even do, but it was sad. They're doing all this stand-up comedy, and everyone's just sitting there looking at him like, cool, can we get to the drinking?
Nothing about Bobby Roode screams stand-up comedy to me. I don't find it funny.
You didn't think it was funny when Eric Young came out and they told him to suck on their beer bottle in 2016?
No.
Yeah.
I did like how Eric Young thought it was 2006. I mean, that was better.
I thought it was 1986. He was kind of promo like Ric Flair in Mid-Atlantic.
I like Eric Young.
He had a funny. I liked his promo.
Yeah,
just a wild man.
I like Bram too. I like Bram's gimmick.
I did like
disgruntled ex-husband gimmick.
He comes out with Bram and he says something to the effect of, "I don't like anybody. I don't even like Bram."
Yeah,
and then Bram's like, "Yeah, I don't like you either," and they're all happy. They like the way they don't like each other.
He said he likes the way he operates.
That's right. I don't like him, but I like how he operates. What the fuck does that mean?
Who knows? I don't know. There could be. I'm sure there's a lot of things about Bram we don't know. Maybe he likes the fact that he keeps getting re-signed to TNA.
I was going to say, we know a lot about Bram.
Over and over.
We know about all of his contract renegotiations. We know about his personal life. What else is there to know?
Oh, man. Just think, if only he had stayed in the WWE, he too could be getting squashed on Superstars as part of Stardust's entourage 1 week a month. So
or he'd be in NXT still and he'd be over.
He'd be over. He'd be like a god. So Eric Young and Bram interrupted EY and whatever. Yeah. Eric
Led
Young
to a match.
He wanted a shot at the King of the Mountain title. Now, these guys hate each other. They have a heated past, a sordid history. So naturally, they start off with some chain wrestling. And story of the match is EY gouging the eyes to get out of moves, biting Bobby Roode to counter his offense. Eventually, Roode hits the Roode bomb, but the referee gets pulled out by Bram. Chaos ensues, resulting in Eric Young hitting a low blow. The pile driver for the 1, 2, and Bobby Roode doesn't kick out. Eric Young wins the King of the Mountain title. Big time title change. We got a new champ.
You know what, though? It was every title change you've ever seen in TNA. Not everyone, but many of them, where we're having a match and there's a dude on the outside and he blows beer in the other guy's face. And now there's two guys in the ring and the referee's right there. And I was just like, are there rules here? What a stupid finish. How many guys have to be in the ring before there's a disqualification?
Do you know who the ref was?
No.
I'll tell you what. I used to train with Stifler. Right?
Oh, really?
I wouldn't trust that guy to keep any order.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah. There we go. So, next, we have EC3 in the back. It seemed to me like he was trying to get Bennett and Maria on board to have his back, but they weren't really having it.
Earl Hebner's son, who is a referee there, what's his name? Do you remember? The young Hebner?
Bryan.
Bryan Hebner. Man, I used to hate that guy. Because, it was because I was a wrestler, and when you would go to the shows, there would always be that ref who thought that he was one of the workers. And he'd have to wear wrestling boots, and you know what I mean? And it's just like, you're just a ref, buddy. You set the ring up, and you count some pins. You're not one of the boys. This was in my younger days when I was much less forgiving than I am now. But anyway, I saw this guy, and I was like, God, he's got these shoes on, and he's got this goofy elbow gimmick, and it just struck me as one of those guys. And then I went to a TNA house show once, and he was there, and my wife loves Earl Hebner. She thinks he's hilarious. And so we went up to get an autograph from Earl Hebner for Whitney. And Brian Hebner was the nicest guy. And that was when I first started to change my opinion. Turned out he wasn't a bad guy after all. And then the more I watch him, this motherfucker is a great referee. Like a great, great, great referee. And so I want to apologize for all of the mean things I may have said about Brian Hebner over the years. A friendly fella. He was very nice to my wife, and he's a great ref. See, I'm a fair guy, Mecca.
Would you like to give any kind words of praise to Stifler?
Don't know a damn thing about him.
He's a ref. He's a ref in TNA.
Attention.
Do you know who he is? He's the bald.
I know Stifler. I don't know him, but I've seen many Stifler matches.
The reason why he has that name is because he used to impersonate Stifler at training.
I figured that was why he got that name.
It's like, oh, no way. Oh, you want to go and party after? Oh, man.
And was he impersonating or was he really like that?
I think it's a little mix of both. You know,
yes.
once you live the gimmick so much, it becomes a part of you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, anyways, Bennett and Maria didn't seem like they wanted to get on board with EC3 there, so not having it. Bennett said, the title looks good on you for a while.
And this was not the best segment.
No, it wasn't. So then we go to a recap of the World Title Series. Started off by the announcement by Dixie Carter and Nosferatu that the belt was held up. And then, after that video package, we go to a Ken Anderson talk show.
Huh? Oh, God.
Anderson comes out for his new talk show.
What was the name of the talk show?
Huh?
Is that the name of it?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Dude, when he came out and he was going to do his deal, I was like, I cannot stand this guy's entrance. I'm just going to skip over it. And I never found out what the name of it was.
Huh?
That's his entrance. That's his show.
That's it. At least, I kind of did like the cheesy lounge music that he came out to. It reminded me of this guy. You ever heard of him? His name's Richard Cheese. He's a musical artist.
Dick Cheese, yes.
Yes. No, this is a real guy. You know who he is?
Sure.
Okay. All right. No, seriously.
No, I do not know Richard Cheese.
He's a real musical
I believe
act.
you. I don't know him.
Okay. Personally, have you heard his music?
No.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
When I look around on iTunes, I'm not Googling Dick Cheese.
It's Richard Cheese. First of all, he doesn't go by Dick. It's Richard Cheese. And he does lounge covers of popular songs.
That's what when I go on iTunes, those are the recommendations for me. Here's some lounge music by Dick Cheese. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea. We could do WWE ones of that.
Sure.
Well, it's the big show.
That's already basically like that.
It's a big bad show tonight. So anyways, Anderson comes out, has his guest out. It's Matt Hardy, Matzel, and Rebby. And he insinuates... Maxel, whatever. He insinuates that he and Matt Hardy had scored a bunch of chicks together. So I don't even know why I wrote that down. I don't know why it was important, but he was pointing at Rebby like, hey, she doesn't know. And then he's, oh, yeah, it was before your time. Oh, really?
Mr. Anderson
before you were in the picture.
So goddamn annoying on this show, like always.
Did you notice the crowd loved him?
Oh, God.
I was watching holy shit, this got over. I couldn't believe it.
Well, hey, whatever gets over, gets over. But I will say, as we cut to the chase here for this hideous segment, Rebby Sky is awesome.
She's good.
Because the gimmick is that they did it here, and then they did it later when Jeff Hardy was trying to talk to Matt. She just comes up and she goes, Matt, we've got to go talk. And he's just whipped, and he goes away, and she's got the mean look on her face, the bitchy look, and you just know that the gimmick is she's just the conniving woman who's just going to fuck everything up for Matt or whatever. And I've seen a million women play heel where I don't buy it for a second, especially on WWE where they play heel and they go to charity. But this Rebby Sky is masterful at this role as this diabolical devil wife.
Yeah. Brian, are you telling me that you don't believe that Deborah McMichael didn't really like
God.
that Nancy and her really didn't get along. Is that what you're telling me?
And Maxwell was great in his role as an infant.
I don't know. I thought he was overacting most of the time, but a little too many blinks in there. So, anyways, whatever. This segment sucked. Well, it didn't suck. Whatever. It was purposeless. I don't know.
It was a sight to behold. Something so annoying that got so over.
I just don't want to talk about it, basically. So next, after this, Anderson leaves the ring, and it cuts to Drew Galloway in the crowd with Christy Hemme. So at least now she has a little bit of protection in case one of those mouth breathers try to assault her. And he tells the crowd he's dreamed of facing Kurt Angle since he was a kid. Tonight he has to win 100% and to expect everything. So when this match came on, I was expecting a food delivery. I was hoping that I'd get some coupons along with that, possibly a attack from aliens, maybe Bigfoot in my backyard, just something. None of it happened, Brian. He told me to expect everything, and he downright lied to me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Lying on a wrestling show, Tom, you should know better.
Terrible. Deplorable. Then we had what was billed as a champion showcase.
That's right.
So, of course, yeah, this is going to be a competitive match, right? Like, they're not going to lose this one, or they're not going to win this one. What the hell am I even saying?
I don't know.
This show is taking a toll on me, Brian.
Dude, already. I knew it wasn't going to last very long.
I enjoy it. So we get Tigre Uno and the Wolves versus DJZ, Jesse Goddard's Eli Drake. Starts off with some back and forth chain wrestling with DJZ and Uno and Edwards before Goddard's tags himself in. Basically, the story of this match is that Goddard's and Eli Drake want to get in their offense and just kind of leave DJZ by the wayside. And as the match continues on, there's a lot of cool spots, actually. Some bizarre commentary revolving around Eli Drake being shirtless in the locker room with a gallon jug of water at all times. Very, very strange. There was a spot where Eddie Edwards hit a double Hurricane Rana in order to get the hot tag. So he jumped up, wrapped his legs around both Eli Drake and Jesse Goddard's head, and then Hurricane Rana and flipped them over, which
a little
I don't
too
think would
phony
really work.
For my taste.
Yeah, it was a bit much, if you ask me. So he gets a hot tag. Richards comes in with clotheslines, an atomic drop, terrible double DDT spot where he throws Goddard's or Eli Drake at the other guy, and for some reason he catches him in a DDT and then gets drop kicked. He goes for the double stomp but misses. The match goes even crazier. Edwards locks in a leg clutch on Goddard's, an ankle lock on DJZ at the same time. Goddard's eventually gets Eddie Edwards in a Boston Crab, and DJZ randomly super kicks Goddard's. Josh refers to it as friendly fire, which leads me to believe Josh doesn't know what friendly fire is.
Yeah, what the hell did that mean? I had to rewind it twice. Like, what do you mean friendly fire? He's mad at the guy.
It was pretty damn intentional.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure friendly fire doesn't refer to shooting somebody on purpose.
Not to mention, okay, never mind. Just a waste of time. It's a stupid line.
What's so friendly about that anyways? It was a super kick.
Christ, even if Josh Matthews didn't know what was happening, it's like there was nobody else that DJ could have been aiming at. There was only one guy in the ring, and there was only one head.
Whoa.
No, he had the man in a hold. There was nobody else around. There was nobody that he missed. He aimed at the guy's head and shot.
It's possible he was trying to super kick Eddie Edwards in the foot.
Tom, please do not insult the listeners.
Okay. So this led to the Wolves hitting the super kick brainbuster combo for the 3, and then they celebrate. DJ Z walks up the entrance ramp backwards, and they point at him. Thanks. Good job. So I guess that's the DJZ face turn.
Cool.
Yeah.
We were waiting for that one.
Next, we have EC3 calling out Matt Hardy to the ring. Matt Hardy apparently has an offer that EC3 will not be able to refuse. So Matt Hardy offers his career, says he will leave Impact Wrestling forever if he doesn't beat EC3. And at this point, I realized I don't even know what the name of this company is. Is the name of this company Impact Wrestling?
I believe it is Impact Wrestling now.
it's not TNA Wrestling because on TV...
It may be TNA Impact Wrestling.
Is it TNA Presents Impact? TNA Wrestling Presents Impact?
I have no idea, dude.
Do they know? Idea. Does anybody know? Please
somebody
let me know
somewhere.
The name of this company. Anyways, so Matt Hardy wants that title shot. EC3 says they will do it on EC3's terms, which is a last man standing match next week.
Can't wait.
What do you think's going to happen in that match? Any thoughts?
We spoiled it earlier.
Any ideas? Oh, damn it. All right. I had forgotten already. So this leads to the main event, which is Angle versus Galloway.
I went to ImpactWrestling.com, by the way, to try to find out what the name of the company is. And the very first thing you see when you go there is a gigantic picture of guess who?
Josh Matthews.
AJ Styles, of course.
Oh, really?
All over. It's a splash page. A lesson, it says, in Last Man Standing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, look at that. That's something else, isn't it?
Show is.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Continue on.
Yeah. So we have Kurt Angle versus Drew Galloway in the first of these, the Kurt Angle Farewell Tour matches, I believe. Starts off with some good back and forth chain wrestling till Angle catches Galloway coming off the ropes and almost decapitates him with a belly to belly. This one was scary. Did you notice how close Galloway was to hitting his head on the mat?
No.
No, it was close. It was bad. Scared me. I'll tell you that much. So they go some more back and forth until they have a double down off of a double clothesline spot that leads us to a commercial. Coming back from the break, Galloway seems to have taken over and throws Angle into the corner, hits a corner splash, top rope clothesline, misses a Claymore kick, and then Kurt Angle does his best Killer Instinct video game combination and hits a bunch of suplexes right into an Angle slam, right into the ankle lock. But Galloway is able to fight it off. He gets out. They go through a short spot where Angle tries to go for a backslide, which Galloway rolls through right into the Future Shock DDT for a 2 count. Then Angle counters a tombstone from Galloway, catches him it looked like he was going for the ankle lock, but Galloway reverses and puts him in a variation of the crossface, which Angle then counters and locks in the ankle lock. So a lot of back and forth submissions here. I thought this match was really good.
Should I get my positive or my negative first?
Let's start off with the negative.
Negative is I've seen this match for 15 years, at least. And the positive is it was a very good match. But I don't know. There's Angle. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Ric Flair.
Are you saying he's formulaic?
Yeah. It's sort of like I can't really fault the guy because it's a great match. But, I mean, every single Kurt Angle match I watch is the exact same match. Just, I don't know. It was good, though. It was a really good match. I have nothing bad to say about it, except that I've seen that same match 1,000 times. Yeah,
I agree. But what are you going to do about it?
I ain't going to do a damn thing about it.
It was a lot better than watching the knockouts for the last 20 minutes.
It's the best match on the show.
Yeah, so Angle has the ankle lock in, and Galloway rolls, shoots him to the outside, and this is another scary spot here. He rushes at Kurt Angle, but Angle catches him in the belly to belly, throws him, but Galloway, instead of like flipping, just kind of, I don't even know what he did. He like jumped and just didn't protect himself and flew at the guardrail. I thought it was a very, very odd, bizarre spot. Angle then rolls him in, only gets a 2 count. So now they're going into the finish here. You can tell a lot of high spots, back and forth, big moves. Galloway counters Angle off the ropes and hits a really, really great Claymore kick. Really stiff, only for a 2 count. Hits another one, but again, only gets 2. Galloway goes up top, goes for a superplex, gets countered with punches. So now he's hanging in the old Alberto Del Rio finisher position. Angle must have been hoping that Galloway was going to sit up, but Galloway was much too quick for it and sits up and hits a spider belly to belly.
Maybe he's going to stand on his balls.
Really? Is that what you think he was going to do?
Well, what the hell else was Kurt Angle going to do if the guy didn't sit up? It's all that's left is stand on his balls.
I would probably just stand on his feet. Or on his knees.
On his knees. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, stand on his knees.
Well, that makes the guy sit up, and then you jump on him.
Yeah, or I just get down.
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Get down and laugh at him.
It's a very, very popular move with the babyface. Go up top and then just get down.
Yeah.
Works every time.
Anyways, so Galloway again takes over. He rushes at Angle, posts himself. Angle hits an angle slam for 2. Starts up a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. They both get up. Galloway scales the ropes again. This time Angle follows him up, goes for an angle slam. Galloway stifles him and starts landing some punches. And as he hits, 5, 6, maybe 9 punches, starts playing to the crowd and pumping his fists. An angle slam off the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle wins. So took over as Galloway was like gloating to the crowd. Hit the angle slam and wins. Sends the crowd home happy. Sends those 4 guys hanging out at the Sands Bethlehem Hotel and Casino at 4:30 a.m. happy. Sends them home happy.
And that's Impact, everybody. On the show on Tuesday, I've actually got a lineup for you, courtesy the Impact Wrestling website. It appears the name of the company is Impact Wrestling, but the title is the TNA World title. That should clear that up.
Yes, the tits and ass title.
Yes. Speaking of, Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim in 2016 is on the show. Beer Money, It's Time to Fight. No opponents mentioned. The debut of The Miracle, Micah Bennett. And Hardy EC3, last man standing for the title. Matt Hardy leaves if he loses.
I already saw the debut of Mike Bennett.
The in-ring debut.
Oh, yeah? I saw on the pay-per-view.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
Yep.
Well, this is the other in-ring debut.
Should we do this Impact report?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, all right.
Tom's got 2 Impact shows to review here.
I do. I'll try to keep it somewhat short and simple. Now, you watched the first of these 2. Is that correct, Brian?
No, believe it or not, I haven't had a chance to watch either of them, but I'm going to get back into the swing of things on next week's show.
Well, let me tell you, I think this stuff is actually pretty good. I enjoy it.
I've seen clips. I've seen, like, the Tyrus and the baby. That's worth it.
Oh, God. So that angle, the angle at the top is clearly the best thing on the show. So 2 weeks ago, this was before the EC3 and Matt Hardy title match. So this is the show that has the title match in it. Jeff Hardy makes his way to the ring at the beginning of the show and takes the mic and says that, something just doesn't feel right about the main event and calls out Matt to the ring. Matt convinces Jeff he's going to beat EC3. There's nothing to worry about. To which EC3's music hits and out comes Tyrus. But Tyrus is pissed off that Jeff said that he couldn't read last week. So he challenges Jeff to a match. This match goes down. Tyrus, if you remember correctly, actually has a title shot, kind of like a Money in the Bank title shot from a gauntlet match on a TNA pay-per-view. So he is, in some ways the number 1 contender, or kind of like the Money in the Bank title holder or briefcase holder. So there's a spot in the match where Jeff goes up to the top and loses his balance and gets injured. And Tyrus goes outside, grabs a steel chair, and just beats the shit out of Jeff, leading to a disqualification. And this plays into the angle later on as, Jeff's injured and Matt and Rebby go and have a nice little talk with him. So after this match, we cut backstage where the Wolves are having one of their regularly scheduled interviews where they both seem subdued. David Richards talks about all the teams that they have defeated in TNA, names several teams, including the Bromans. Not the Bromans.
The Bromans.
The Bromans, as if they were, being led by Alexander the Great to their, highest heights. So as they're talking about all these great teams and how they want to face Beer Money, Crazy Steve comes out of nowhere. And believe me when I tell you, he is crazy because he's got wacky hair and face paint on. And then the Wolves are attacked by just kind of like a giant fist. It was kind of like Mr. Hand. Was it Mr. Hand? No, Mr. I don't know. Basically, a giant fist came out of nowhere and knocked the Wolves down. The camera went all wacky.
One fist knocked down both Wolves?
I swear to God, Brian, one fist. It was a
What?
A right fist. So the camera is kind of like right behind, I think it was Davey Richards or Eddie Edwards' shoulder, like really close. You know how TNA has those wacky close-up camera angles anyways, and it's like they're shooting Blair Witch Project. So a fist comes out of nowhere and hits Davey Richards in the back, to which the camera like goes all, staticky, and then it cuts back, and both the Wolves, I mean, there was like a half-second time where this could have happened. Both the Wolves are laid out on the ground, and their title belts have been stolen within a matter of a second. Promise.
That's crazy.
Maybe less.
I need to find a clip of this giant fist.
Yeah. The only tag team I could have seen actually pulling this off would have been the Time Splitters, because they could have showed up, hit the Wolves, taken their belts, and gotten out of there in less than a second, but that didn't happen. So next up, we have Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, in which I guess will probably be Awesome Kong's last TNA match.
That's right. Well, they taped a whole bunch of television, so I don't know. Maybe they won't air it if they have footage of her.
Yeah, well, who knows? In this match, obviously, like every TNA Knockouts match, there's interference. So we have the beautiful people in the dollhouse down at the ring, and Gail eventually hits the Eat Defeat on Kong. Jade tries to interfere, which Gail throws her off the top, kind of like a rocket launcher. And then Gail makes the pin on Awesome Kong to win and retain her title. Thoughts?
I haven't seen it, but it sounds very exciting.
Thoughts on Awesome Kong choking Rebby Sky?
Oh, I have plenty of thoughts about that.
Now, how I imagine it is like you ever seen The Simpsons, Brian?
Oh, yeah. I have, believe it or not.
I actually have to ask that, like it's a legitimate question. But when Homer wrings out Bart's neck, that's what I imagine Awesome Kong lifted up Rebby and was choking her two-handed back and forth.
Can you believe they did this in front of the baby, Tom? Can you imagine if
Brian,
young Finn had been there and this would have happened?
Listen, this kid is he's in the top heel stable in the company.
Well, that is true.
Think about it. I don't give a crap what that kid sees. He's a terrible person.
Wow.
He is.
It's not very nice. He's there against his will.
I'm supposed to hate him. I'm supposed to dislike him.
He's there against his will, Tom. He's just a kid.
He's
like
playing his
Sage
Northcutt.
Northcutt.
He's playing his character great. I'll tell you that much, because I dislike him.
Man.
Anyways. So next up, we have Beer Money against Jesse Goddards and Eli Drake. And I could have sworn I saw this when I paid $30 to watch their pay-per-view like a month ago for no reason. But so leads to some brawling to start the match. Drake and Goddards get the advantage early on, but Beer Money eventually hits the DWI and wins the match. And we cut backstage, pretty much a nothing match. We cut backstage. Jeff is in the back icing his knee, and Matt, Rebby, and my boy Matzel, my little guy, come in.
Oh, now he's your little guy?
Yeah, like I said,
you just hated him 5 minutes ago, 5 seconds ago.
Because he's doing his job good. He's a good character. I don't dislike him. I dislike the person that he plays on TV. Okay? Does that make sense?
All right.
So they go in and check on Jeff, and eventually they convince Jeff to leave and to go to the hospital, which leads in to pretty much the whole storyline, Pretty well laid out here. So Jeff wants to stay, but they tell him, look, everything's going to be all right, and Jeff agrees to leave. So then we have Lashley come in wearing a black-on-black suit with a black baseball cap with Kurt Angle in the ring. They talk back and forth.
I guess he didn't have time to do his hair.
No, and this look, I wouldn't go with this look. I don't know. Black on black, it's pretty rough. This was like the Ferguson outfit.
Wow, Tom.
Oh, actually, that was black. That was two different races, right? Never mind. Anyways, so I don't know. They talked. They had a promo. Whatever. They're gonna fight later on. We have the Miracle Michael Bennett versus Pepper Parks. Of course, Maria comes out, introduces the Miracle in a squash match, which he defeats Pepper Parks. And the biggest takeaway that I've seen so far with Mike Bennett, the presentation with Maria is good. The intro I really enjoy, but he's just wearing black tights. I think he needs something a little bit better, maybe something frillier, more outlandish. If you're going to be the Miracle and you're going to have such a braggadocious nickname, I think you have to better gear.
What would Jesus wrestle in?
Linen cloth.
Hey, well, maybe
and sandals.
Yeah, some linen pants maybe might be a good.
If we could get Mike Bennett in white linen pants and then like the sandals that have the toe strap, that'd be awesome.
I once had a pair of sandals like that.
What happened to him?
I looked at them.
Oh, really? You looked at him and what happened? They transformed into a gigantic beast?
No, they transformed into the area of clothes that I never wear anymore because I came to my senses.
You were trying to get laid?
Called them my Jesus shoes, they called them.
Yeah.
So when I knew they were no good.
Oh. Okay. Can we go to the last man standing match here?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just along for the ride.
All right. So the much talked about Ethan Carter III versus Matt Hardy career versus title match here. Last man standing. They come out, use a bunch of weapons. Really, the big story is we have Rebby Sky watching the match from ringside. Tyrus comes down. Now, before that, there was probably the best spot that I had seen in a while. Matt goes out. He can't beat EC3 fair and square. So he goes out to ringside and he's talking to Rebby, and Rebby hands him a hammer. But where did she take the hammer from, Brian? Any clue?
It's got to be out of Matzel's diaper.
The diaper bag. She took the hammer out of the diaper bag and gave it to Matt Hardy. And as a newborn, as a father of a newborn child and having this diaper bag around all the time, I thought it was just the best touch. So awesome. That Matzel. See, I told you he was a dirtbag. He's carrying around a hammer in his bag.
He's not. His mom
what kind
is.
Of baby? We don't know who packed it. All right. So Tyrus makes his way down to the ring. Instead of helping EC3, he attacks EC3, turns on him, goes over and hugs Matt. During the whole match, the crowd is kind of going back and forth. Matt used a low blow. The crowd was booing him. So we had dueling EC3 versus Matt Hardy chants. So I think the crowd was ready to cheer EC3. So this double heel turn actually played out pretty well, I thought. EC3 kind of fights off Matt and Tyrus, and eventually I believe he kicks out of a move and then gets hit with the world title belt, and Matt pins him. It's the new champion, 1, 2, 3, and he stands over him with his newfound heel stable. So that was the end of the first show.
This was a show from 2 weeks ago, and so the next review is this last Tuesday's show.
Right.
There's another one tomorrow.
Which is built around the dumbest match in professional wrestling currently, and that's a Feast or Fired.
Feast or Fired,
match.
That's right.
Feast or Fired. So before we even get there, Jeff comes out to the ring, calls out Matt Hardy, who comes out with Rebby, and Tyrus, who's carrying Maxwell to the ring. And Jeff said, Rebby starts talking. Jeff gets in the way and says, look, I didn't come here to talk to my bitch sister-in-law. Challenges Matt for the title.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. What he actually said, I believe, was
my bitch sister-in-law.
No, I think he said sister bitch-in-law.
Oh, wow.
Which is he's from Cameron, North Carolina.
It's not very nice.
Anyways, so he challenges Matt for a title match tonight. Matt accepts. So later on, we will have Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. But first, up next, we have the Feast or Fired match, which featured James Storm, Bobby Roode, Rockstar Spud, Eli Drake, Jesse Goddard, Eric Young, Bram, who re-signed right before the match, Grado, Chris Melendez, Robbie E., Aiden O'Shea, isn't that Jay Bradley?
Aiden O'Shea, maybe.
Yeah. And Drew Galloway.
It's not. This is the dumbest match. I haven't even seen this show, but this match is so stupid.
Are you sure Aiden O'Shea isn't Jay Bradley?
Maybe it is.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Well, I'm going to go find out. But let's talk about the stupidity of this goddamn match.
Oh, can we, please?
So you just signed James Storm, and he does this big promo about how he's back, he was in NXT, all of this other bullshit. and now you sign him to a match where he may, at random, grab a briefcase that has a pink slip, and you will be forced to fire him. Or you're going to be forced to fire Bobby Roode.
Or Bram, who just resigned.
Who cares about Bram? He'd just be, re-signed. It is Jay Bradley. You're right. Cool.
I know.
Why is he now an Irishman?
That I don't know. From Chicago, nonetheless.
Wow, I'm totally baffled now.
As well you should be. I'm baffled by this feast or fired match. Dumbest, it's got to be the dumbest concept I can think of. Why would you go up there and grab the thing? Why would you?
I think they even had a guy once who, in the match, claimed he wasn't going to get any briefcases because he didn't want to be fired. I think that was actually a storyline once.
And then what? Did he eventually grab one? Was he just like, screw it?
I don't know.
And honestly, would it really be that bad?
To be fired?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, if you're James Storm, he was making way more money now than he was in NXT, apparently, or he would have. So
you
don't want to get that briefcase. He should have been out of this match.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Robbie E., he's probably pretty happy to be there. Aiden O'Shea.
Grado.
Who knows? Oh, Grado's definitely happy to be there. But, where would Jesse Goddard's go? You think he'd get picked up by anybody? He's probably
global
happy to
force.
Grab that. Yeah. All right, so next up we have Tigre Uno versus DJZ versus Mandrews. In a match which Tigre Uno won with the Spanish Fly. The big news is after the match, Shane Helms came out looking like the Jolly Green Giant next to Tigre Uno again. And Helms asks Tigre Uno if he is ready to defend the title for the last time next week. And Tigre Uno shakes his head yes. So he knew he was losing.
Huh.
Helms didn't come out and go, hey, are you ready to have a match next week? And Tigre Uno said, yeah, I'll defend the title. He came out and he said, are you ready to defend that title for the last time? And Tigre Uno just goes, yeah.
What a cocky dude.
I am. Yeah, I'm into that. So those of you that don't know, it's not even going to be Shane Helms that wrestles. Ooh, spoiler alert. Anyways.
Damn it.
Yeah. Do you know who it is, Brian?
Actually, I have no idea.
Oh, God, you're going to be... I don't know if you'll be happy or unhappy.
Probably unhappy.
Let me put it this way. So if it were somebody in TNA copying the WWE, the guy that's going to win this match or be inserted
I already know who it is. Yeah.
His chant would be, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like, sure.
Yeah, sure is good too. I like that. So next we have Christy Hemme backstage interviewing she's interviewing Bobby Lashley about his confrontation with Kurt Angle, to which a mysterious woman comes by and tells him, I'll bring you pain or I'll bring you pleasure. Now, Brian, this past Saturday night, before you recorded the radio show, I was watching 50 Shades of Grey. And have you ever seen this movie?
No.
The whole time, all I could think about was, this is the absolute best professional wrestling gimmick of all time, all my life. So this guy, he's like he's a billionaire, like businessman, but he's also like into, being a dominant.
Sure.
But one of his things is, he says like, I'm looking for someone to submit to me. How awesome would it be to have that saying as a character? Like, I'm looking for someone to submit to me in the ring.
I would bet you anything you see this in TNA by the end of the year. Guaranteed.
I've got plenty of ideas. So if Billy Corgan wants to talk to me about how to implement this 50 Shades of Grey professional wrestling character, hit me up at Filthy Tom Lawler on Twitter. So
Filthy at WrestlingObserver.com.
That's true as well. So next up, we have Awesome Kong. So last week was not her last match. Here she destroyed Velvet Sky, beat her down after the match. Madison Rayne came out. The Dollhouse interfered. They held Madison down and made her watch Kong come off the top rope with a big splash onto Velvet Sky. And this led to perfect segue into the Feast or Fired reveal. So in the back, we didn't even talk about who won these briefcases, but the first person to grab one was...
So they didn't even hold off the reveal to like later shows down the road?
Well, no, they interspersed it into the show. So it opened up the show, and the winners we didn't even talk about were James Storm, Eli Drake, Grado, and Drew Galloway. So everybody's in the back, getting ready for the reveal. Jeremy Borash is in there talking it over, and Mike Bennett and Maria enter the room and decide to cut a promo. And then I can't remember exactly what happened, but they were talking, and I think it was Drew Galloway stands up and basically just told him like essentially get the hell out of here. And Michael Bennett just like, okay, I'll leave. So he came in to talk a bunch of shit to these guys, watch them open their briefcases. He got one, little thing of back talk from Drew Galloway. It was like, it's a good point. I'm out of here. I've had enough. So Eli Drake goes first, and in his briefcase is the King of the Mountain title shot.
Oh, man.
Right? So that means either James Storm, Grado, or Drew Galloway is going to get fired.
Huh.
Yeah. The suspense. I can only imagine which of the three it would be. So next we have the Wolves out to the ring, and they call out Crazy Steve, which actually brings out a woman in like a clown makeup. She kind of looks like she stole the look from the guy from Saw, but she's a chick. So she looks pretty crappy. I wouldn't want to touch her. She would not make my list of top 10 hottest females outside of WWE, along with Goya Kong. But the Wolves...
Well, based on your list, I can't trust a thing you say anyway, so I'll decide for myself.
Yeah, it's not great. So the Wolves, they go after Crazy Steve, but Abyss's music hits. So the random fist that beat up the Wolves last week is Abyss. So they come out and they have a match, right? Because that's what happens if you're in a blood feud with some people. You lock up, you exchange holds, and you have a match. So eventually this woman comes down to the ring and sprays mist into the Wolves' eyes, and the match is called off. So basically a nothing segment. But at least it sets up Crazy Steve and Abyss as the title challengers to the Wolves for a little program, I guess.
Steve and Abyss.
The Decay is what they're known as.
Oh, wow.
So it's Crazy Steve, Abyss, and like a clown woman. It's not that bad, Brian. It sounds worse than it is. Next up, we continue to reveal these Feast or Fired briefcases. James Storm, it's his turn to open it up, so he does it and opens up his briefcase. He takes a look. Bobby Roode takes a look. They're both in disbelief, shock. They tease that it's the fired option out of the briefcases. But lo and behold, it was a tag title shot instead. So Beer Money has a guaranteed World Tag Team title shot. Big surprise. Drew Galloway just could not wait for Grado to open his briefcase. So he opens his up. Lo and behold, he gets a world title shot. Grado's congratulating him. Great job, Drew. I'm so happy for you. Good job. And then opens up his briefcase to reveal that, in fact, he has been fired.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
There's only 4 fucking briefcases, you geek.
Yeah, but that's his gimmick. I mean, it makes sense. It wasn't as if like Drew Galloway, Grado got the world title shot. Drew Galloway complimented him and then forgot. This is Grado's whole gimmick is that he's a chump, right?
Well, it is now for sure.
Well, I know what his gimmick is after this, but I'm not going to reveal the spoilers. So Grado cried, said it was the worst day of his life. And finally, we have the main event of this show, which is Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. Before the match could even start, Eric Young and Bram run out and attack Jeff. Matt and Tyrus take off as Jeff gets beaten down. Eric Young sets up the table at ringside, pile drives Jeff through it. Before that, there was a big schmoz. Beer Money ran out. Crazy Steve and Abyss ran out. They all fight to the back. Matt comes back in as Jeff is down, but Kurt Angle runs out to confront Matt. Tyrus takes out Kurt. Matt takes him out as well. And then Matt, Rebby, and Tyrus leave, walk up the ramp, and that's when EY gives Jeff Hardy the old pile driver off the apron through the table, and that is where the show ends with Jeff Hardy laying in a broken his body's broken down. He's laying in a destroyed table there ringside.
Holy smokes.
So that's Impact the last 2 weeks. It was actually pretty good. Both episodes, I think, are moving in the right direction. The stuff in the main event is really, really good with Big Money Matt Hardy wearing his suit. He's got Rebby pulling the strings from behind the scenes. And then you have Tyrus, the hired gun, there as well.
Well, I vow to begin watching the show again as of this week. I apologize for not doing so, but hey, we had 2 shows to review. I would have crashed the party if I would have had to review it as well. Know what I mean?